Hello and welcome to this free Mac software and Mac OS X screencast tutorial. In this video we are going to show you how to merge PDF documents on OS X. But we don't stop there, because just showing you how to merge PDF documents on OS X would make for a much too short tutorial. So we added some additional content and show you a full tutorial on how to work with PDF files on OS X. We also show you some additional workflows on how to reduce PDF sizes with Automator. Enjoy the tutorial. Now in this first part I'd like to show you how to merge PDF documents. So let me just open up this PDF document here and then the other PDF document as well. The first thing that you have to do is show the sidebar, because we need the sidebar to drag in the other PDF document. You get to that using this menu and just select thumbnails. Now let me move this out of the way. And you can now also show this thumbnails here and just drag this image representation, or you can also drag the document icon, just hold down with your mouse button, wait for a moment, and then take it away and drop it right onto the other logo. Now let me close this window. You see that we now have a PDF document that has 2 pages, and we can even rearrange those pages using a simple mouse drag operation. When you click File, Save, the contents are written onto the disk, and when you preview a document, you see that this PDF document now has these 2 pages. Now, before we show the other features of Preview, let me quickly show you how to automate this process using Automator, because if you have a lot of PDF documents, you probably don't want to drag each PDF individually onto another. So what you're going to do here is choose Workflow, and then we just select from the Files and Folders section, Get Specified Finder Items. You can just double click this section, by the way. And now let me quickly drag in both logos again. The next action we're gonna need is located under PDFs. Here it simply says Combine PDF Pages. And normally what Automator does with the output of these actions, they are saved onto a temporary location. So we need one more action that is again located under Files and Folders that simply says Move Finder Items from the temporary location to somewhere else. So now we have built this workflow, and let's just see if it works. Shouldn't take too long. Now I'll just hide the Automator, and you see we have basically the same thing but automated in Automator. Now in this next part I want to show you how to annotate PDFs, because this is also something that is very useful. All you need to annotate PDFs is found here at the top. You can mark up text, for instance green. You probably know that already, but just for completion I want to show you. But it is also possible to annotate PDFs using this button. You see a new menu bar fades in, and now we can draw shapes like rectangles, and we can even move those around. So for instance, if you want to show someone that this particular logo here is more important to you, then you can just do that. Also, when a shape is highlighted, you can go to the colors and choose a different color for it. Now you have the same for a circle and a line. When you draw something, for instance a line, and hold down the Shift key, you see this line now constrains to 45-degree angles. This thing here is something many people don't know. You can actually just point out stuff in PDFs and also image files using arrows. You can add text boxes, and this is the reason why I'm showing you this form here. If you fill out a form from, for instance, your insurance company, you can just create text boxes and then say my family name is Zeitler, and then I can just pick black color, but I can also resize the font using the regular font menu, for instance, to size 12. This fits perfectly. Now let me just quickly resize the text box here, and you can also use the keyboard for right, left keys to move those boxes around. You can even use Shift, right and left key to move the text box in bigger steps. You are probably going to figure out what the others here do, but let me show you what Note does. You can single click onto the document and leave notes for the other person. And now you see we have a note added here. And when we go to highlights and notes, you're gonna see in the left list that we have these notes again. And this is useful if you have written a long document, for instance, a scientific paper, and now you want someone else to read it. They can just use this function to annotate the PDF. And annotating a PDF is a regular function of PDFs. So if the other person decides to use his or her iOS device with Goodreader, they can just do so, and you will still be able to find their notes because they are regular notes. This function here is quite handy, but only available if you have a built-in eyesight, which most Macs nowadays do. How it works is you sign a piece of paper, make sure that it is white mostly, and then just hold that signature up to your eyesight. And once you've done that, you can just go ahead and your signature will be listed in this menu, and then you can just go where you need to sign your PDF and print the PDF. This way you won't have to fill out forms anymore by hand. Now for the last part of this tutorial, we again need Automator. For the following, you can again build a workflow or a system service. A system service has the advantage that it's available when you right-click a file in the Finder, for instance, and then you can just execute this particular workflow. But for these demonstrations, we're gonna use a workflow. Now again, like almost any Automator workflow starts, we need the get specified Finder items, and in the PDFs category, we need the compress images in PDFs action. If you are building a system service with this, it is probably better to go here under options and select show this action when the workflow runs. This makes sure that when you run the workflow with a right click, that you get a little menu displayed that looks like this. You get the compression and the quality, and whenever the workflow runs, you can again decide which compression you want to use. Now you can pre-select something, and when you run the service or the workflow, the menu will already contain your most preferred settings. But keep again in mind, the last part is where we move our files from the temporary location to somewhere where we can access the files. And for most of us, this is the desktop. Now let me just quickly show you how this works. I bring in some PDFs, and now when I run this workflow, because I selected show this action, I get this menu. You see the settings are predefined already. JPEG medium is normally okay, so let me click continue. It's finished running. And now when I bring up the size comparison, especially for this macOS 10 screencast logo, you now see that the file size is indeed reduced by about 50%. That's it for this tutorial. We hope you enjoyed the content. Until next time, take care.